Good evening, everyone. It is December 20, almost into a new year. That's amazing how fast this year went. But tonight we're going to be talking on the difference between power and authority, and they are different. A lot of people treat them the same, but they're not. And we're going to quickly jump in and discuss it because there's a lot to fit in a short period of time. So here we go. Authority versus power. John 14:13. And we're going to start out, this page is going to be about authority. And whatever you ask in my name, that I will do, so that the Father may be glorified in the Son. Now everything Jesus does is to glorify his Father. That is, the reason he was bestowed with so much power, so much authority, so much blessing, is because the key word is obedience. He was always obedient to his Father's will, and still is. Genesis 9, verse 5. Surely your lifeblood I will avenge. For every animal and from every person will I avenge it. The one who sheds human blood, by human blood will his blood be shed. Now we're talking about Genesis chapter 9, right after the flood, when God is restoring a covenant with mankind. This time it's with Noah, the Noahic covenant. And he is saying, in this particular instance, what we're talking about is he's promised Noah that part of that covenant is he's gonna give the fear of man into every beast of the field, fowl of the air, fish of the sea. And then he says, but if those animals disobey and shed man's blood, by man's hand their blood must be shed. So this is where we're talking authority. He gave authority over all of his creation to Adam. Now the first time it was perfect, so everything did obey. But once sin entered the world, it brought about free will for the animals. For in God's image, he made humanity, saying that we are above the animals. I know in today's society, and for the last 40 years of my life, people have tried to say that humans are just an evolved state of animals, and that's bull. Because God said that he's given authority to man because a man was made in the image of God. Nothing else was. For God has not given us to a spirit of timidity, but of power. Now we're on the second page, which is power, and love, and self-discipline. All of those things come or are expected with power, and once we have the power, there's no excuse for us not to be utilizing those. Luke 10:19. Behold, I have given you authority to tread on serpents and scorpions and over the power of the enemy, and nothing shall hurt you. See, again, we're going back to animals. We're talking about he's got power over a number of things, but he's got authority over nature. That's why we'll get to it in a second, I think. His divine power has given us everything we need for life and godliness. Mark 6. Now this is where it goes back to authority. It says, but when they saw him walking on the sea, they thought he was a ghost and cried out. And we've talked about that before. They thought that he was a sailor who had drowned in the last 2 days, and the spirit was just hanging around. After 2 days, they believed the spirit would be sent to Sheol. But in this case, that's why they asked him, are you a ghost? He said, no. For they saw him and were terrified. But immediately he spoke to them. He said, take courage, I am. He's saying, I am, meaning I am God. Do not be afraid. Then he got into the boat, and when the wind stopped, they were utterly dumbfounded. For they hadn't understood about the loaves. Instead, their hearts were hardened. Now, he's saying with the loaves, he's talking about 5 loaves, 2 fish, that he was coming to serve man and provide a new covenant through grace, which is the number 5 in Hebrew, and unity of man and God, unity of heaven and earth. So he's saying they didn't understand that. So when he multiplied the loaves, they didn't understand where that power or that authority was coming from. So hopefully that made sense to you. If not, you're welcome to either send us in an email or send me a text if you have my number, or just check with me at church Sunday if you attend Res. But we'll talk again soon. Thank you for tuning in. We can find us at streetlight.com, Facebook, or YouTube at Streetlight Bible Study 4006. Be blessed and remember to be a blessing. Thank you for checking with us. Have a great night.